it did look to me from that angle as if certainly his right foot was in front of the ball, and from there he launched into the obstruction, and the referee was exactly in line. It was on the 22-meter line, so it was made easier for the referee to make that decision. So here's the chance for Liner to put his side ahead.
Well, 75% is the yardstick for international kickers. If they can get 75% of their kicks over, they're comfortable with that. Liner historically is up there as well, as is Rob Andrew. But eyes are on Liner right now. He struck that well, Liner. That's going to go through, yes. Penalty goal number 4 for Michael Liner. Well, we move into the last 20 minutes of this game, and this could be an enthralling encounter. Just 3 points the difference. Andrew with a pinpoint drop kick. Rodber's the first there.
Well, what a game. Isn't it amazing when one side gets a penalty, almost immediately the other side comes back and gets a penalty. So it could be tit for tat. Liner having put Australia ahead 19-16, and Rob Andrew with this kick for making it even. But there's a great deal of tension out there, and here is the kick in. Up goes Eels for it, and couldn't see exactly there, but the referee said it was obstruction.
Now, Andrew to level the scores. Can he advance England's cause? Familiar crunching fashion. Just curls himself round. Yes, he's got it. Rob Andrew then matching Michael Liner, kick for kick in the match.
And the last two kicks came in the 19th minute and the 20th minute. So 1 minute ago it was 16 all, now it's 19 all.
Liner's restart, looks for Eels, finds Bayfield. There was a knock-on going against Australia. Andrew has enough time. He's been well served by Dowie Morris today. Last man up for England was Martin Bayfield rather. Well, Dowie Morris will do well to just maybe stop questioning the referee. Just look at the number of times that on the England side, the number of passes that have come from the scrum half, but mostly kicks from Rob Andrew, which is very much part of their game plan. And England are got to be certain that they don't concede any penalties in their half of the field, as do Australia. So that in itself will surely we'll see a Titanic struggle in these last 18-19 minutes. Martin Johnson in the front, but it's Phil Kearns' throw-in. Looking for Rod McCall in the middle. It seems to be working for Australia. Liner, Damien Smith. He's hauled in by Will Carling. Switch there to Michael Liner and Campese. Few chances he's had in the match. David Campese. Well, such has been the tight defence of England, even when Australia have managed to play it out wide, that there's been very little room to move in. .18 minutes left, 19 points all. These two countries locked in battle in this quarter-final here at Newlands. Moore looks for Martin Johnson. Gregan, it was a good effort that by Gregan. Then Jason Little goes in field. Good ball for Australia. Damien Smith down on the ground. He'll need to get away from it. Well, It was England that in fact were penalised, was that Tim Rodber, for preventing that ball coming out from Damien Smith. And check, this is almost a tit for tat with penalty goals.
Yes, that was another good decision there. You hear the referee saying it's a defence to prevent the tackle player from releasing the ball. As Damien Smith went down, you heard the referee saying release, and then he told Rodber that it was against him for preventing the tackle player from releasing the ball. But it was very stirring stuff, and Damien Smith so nearly getting through then, and it is on his feet, on his knees, then you can't play it, and there's Rodber going in there and grabbing the ball when he wasn't on his feet. So another testing one. You know, these kicks are quite easy in practice, or relatively easy, but when it's such tension, such tremendous pressure, 19 all, and he's only missed one. Andrews also only missed one. So every kick is a vitally important one.
He's had the benefit of kicking quite a few of the goals from this particular position, so he knows where to start the kick at the right hand, upright, and swing it in like he does with this one. Well, we've seen some great skills from the 30 players out there, and let's perhaps include the referee David Bishop as well. But Michael Lynagh and Rob Andrew have kicked extremely well for their respective countries. Kearns takes. Kearns looks to drive. Australia starting to come into their own, offer in Gowie. England have isolated the ball carrier there, but Australia come back at them again. Gregan taken by Catt, beautifully taken by Michael Catt. He's been rock solid as the last pillar of defence. Just that one lapse when Damien Smith scored the try. Otherwise, he's not been found wanting. England with a counter. Richards has. Rodber drives in. Taken on by Tim Rodber. Dean Richards is always in the thick of things. There he goes now. Well, there's relentless pressure coming from both sets of forwards and almost a tit for tat in terms of goal kicking. Now, Rob Andrew. Well, he's a little braver than Michael Lynagh because he's going to have a penalty attempt.
Well, Gavin, I think the reason for that is that there's very little to lose, because he has kicked them from this distance, and I think he's going to give it his best shot, and if it does go over, it'll be a tremendous psychological advantage.
Well, Chick, I must agree with you. I think it's important that whatever options, possible options exist, they should be taken. And Andrew, with the success that he's had with goal kicking in the last couple of years, not to mention Rugby World Cup, Will Carling will be willing this kick over for his country. He struck it well as Andrew. Just going wide, taken by Campisi behind his line. Such is the confidence of the man that he can drive England back to the halfway.
Well, Australia now with that 3-point lead will want to try to get as much possession as they can and try to keep England back in their half of the field, because penalties conceded there don't mean a possible 3 points.
Both teams masters at denying the opposition the ball. It's been in seesaw fashion today. John Eales, one of the few catches he's got. Taken on by them. Phil Kearns is the man in possession. Importantly, Australia staying on their feet as they drive through with this maul. Gregan running on well. That's a good kick from Lynagh. Back foot Dowie Morris. He's been a pillar of strength for England today. We cannot take any credit away from that man, Dowie Morris. He's tackled like a Trojan, and he's been all over the field.
And that was classical scrum half defence, because there's that little gap for the little kick ahead that no other player can get to, and the scrum half is the man who's got to cover in for that gap, and he did so well by putting his hand onto it and he did take quite a pounding as the whole of the Australian pack were up there. And what a courageous chap he is. He's taken a lot of knocks. He was limping very badly. We thought he was going to go off in the first half, and then he kept going, and he is determined to stay on. He's as tough as can be, and he's played a very good all-round game as David Morris. He's really put Gregan under a lot of pressure, and I think that was to a large extent the England battle plan, and that was Wilson also in the wars.
Nothing that a bit of Vaseline can't sort out. David Wilson, he'll not be leaving this field today, will David Wilson, if he's got anything to do with it. Gregan, Australia continuing the onslaught onto the England advantage line. The back is Rod McCall, and then Phil Kearns comes in late. Well, that ball was carried off the ground. It was knocked down, so the scrum will go to England.
Yes, Australia will be kicking themselves for that, because it came to a halt and they had to play it or lose it, and the third alternative to put it on the ground, but they still had it. Good defence by England. They managed to stop them all, and they've got the put in.
Richards pushing on the far side to afford the protection to David Morris, just to give enough time for Michael Catt. Back foot Matt Burke. Both fullbacks have played incredibly well today. Well, Burke's kick's going to drift out. Very few mistakes we've seen from the two pivots. Ten minutes left, then Australia lead by 22 points to 19. Identical score lines, with the exception of that one penalty goal from Michael Lynagh. 6 from the Australian fly half. In fact, 5 from him, 4 from Rob Andrew. England with a short line out, all the big men in. Johnson, Bayfield, Rodber, Dean Richards. Australia do well to take that away from them. This is Crowley with his kick. Tony Underwood, the try scorer. Up for it, John Eales takes well, supported by Phil Kearns. Well, that's a good reply from Michael Lynagh. Well, England are certainly going to come with a vicious onslaught in these last 9 minutes. Rob Andrew has shown that he could virtually get the distance from the halfway line, so Australia will have to beware that they don't make mistakes in their own half of the field. One of the great dangers is to merely just take the ball and try and kick it downfield without purpose, but both these sides are of such a quality that they would know what to do. Morris, probably a little up and under from him. Well, it's not such a little one. Damien Smith and then John Eales. John Eales takes well.
The referee saying taking the guy away, that was a bit of obstruction. Now Michael Lynagh wanted to make sure of his touch, so his side will get the throw in, and he hasn't done that.
No, he finds Michael Catt. That's a big punt downfield. Burke, he's outside his 22. He loves running, does Matthew Burke. Also with a big hoist. Back for Tony Underwood, looking to open up. He's quick as Tony Underwood. Good support from Martin Johnson. Well, David Wilson found himself at the bottom of that ruck, as he normally is, and well, he'll have a few zebra stripes on his back tonight. But such is the fight for the cause of country. This is Michael Catt taking over the kicking role to touch from Rob Andrew, and doing rather well with it.
That was a great kick, and so far the line-out possession has gone to quite a large extent according to who's thrown it in. There's the possession this half. Australia better possession in the second half, and now we'll see whether England can win their own ball in the line-out. They're on the attack, and line-out position has been so important in this match.
Well, they've done that most of the game. They've won their own balls. Johnson's tap. This is good ball for England. Guscott, the switch around to Ben Clark. This is good ball for them. Can they come back with some sort of vengeance? This is Cat, Guscott, Tony Underwood. We've seen terrific defense from both sides. For the third time, Morris looks for the shortcut. Tony Underwood. Once again, good ball for them. Cat, the switch to Andrew. Looked for the drop goal initially and then is scragged by Jason Little. Titanic struggle going in there between the two packs of forwards. This is the drop attempt from Cat, but it's a woeful attempt.
Well, that was great Australian defence. They made sure the England backs had little or no room to move in. Guscott got it, he was down, the next cat was scragged, and Andrew really didn't have a great deal of time to set his sights and kick with his usual immaculate perfection that we have been used to seeing. So Titanic struggle still carries on. 6 minutes to go.
Michael Liner with a long kick in. Cat will look to possibly try and run this, or it's the launch again. Matthew Burke calls and takes. He's one of the finest catches of the ball out of the air that I've seen, is Matthew Burke, but he's in trouble. Brian Moore comes away with it. Oh, penalty has gone England's way, and that's come from the pressure that they've exerted on that Australian pack. Now, Rob Andrew has another chance. He's not going to try and waste too much time with this. He's got 5 minutes of play. And we have an interesting set of circumstances if the teams are level at close, because they'll be playing extra time, 10 minutes each way after the break of 5 minutes. That was the penalty then given against Australia, and Rob Andrews' attempt we will see now to level it at 22 each. Vital kick for England's cause. Struck it well, Andrew. Well, the battle's on here now at Newlands. Just 3 minutes of time left. That's ordinary playing time. And both sides will be aware of the fact that the next scorer, if there is to be another one, could well be the winner. Ben Clark takes in. Morris's hoist. Burke calls, says to Damien Smith, it's my ball, and takes well.
Well, there the ball going to Australia, because the law says if you catch the ball out of the air and you're immediately enveloped by players of the opposing side, then the catching, the side of the catcher gets the put in, and this is an important one. Only 4 minutes to go, and possession means everything.
There's no question about possession meaning everything, Chick. What does Michael Liner do now? Does he kick? Does he run? Well, Australia looking to run, playing wide, Damien Smith. Knock on coming from George Gregan. There have been occasions during this match when Gregan has been found wanting. To take nothing away from the defence of England in hurrying him into mistakes. Rob Andrew. Well taken by Burke. This is Campese. That's a massive punt downfield. Almost misjudged there by Michael Catt, but he gets the benefit of the favourable bounce. Beautifully taken by John Eel, showing those skills of his, and offering Gowie. We have a remarkable finish here at Newlands. Now Gregan, Campese. And Morris comes away with it, almost inevitably so. Well, the first knock on they'll come back for. Good control by England. Here's a chance for Damien Smith, the try scorer, and he's got Burke on the outside.
And probably the right thing to do. He had not very much support did Matthew Burke have, and he's put his side onto the attack. And of course, if they're in the opponent's half of the field, there's always the chance of a penalty going through the posts. Whereas if you're in your own half, then the opposite is effect.
Well, Michael Lynagh must have a drop goal going through his head, but it's the England put in, and feel sure that there'll be pressure on Lynagh, because he is a good drop kicker of the ball. England can't control. Well, now Australia have the ball, but kicking drop goals from the set scrums is not an easy task. Lynagh having a quick word with Tim Gavin at the back. And then to Timmy Horan. Gavin with a pick-up. David Wilson tailing him as he does so well. Gregan, Lynagh looking for the gap. Back to Jason Little. Well, the England defence really holding well. Gregan back to Campese. Campese's drop has gone wide. Well, 1 minute on the clock then, 22 points each.
And of course, if it is a draw, then we'll have extra time, 10 minutes each way. And that could be quite an enthralling prospect. Referee looking at his watch. There'll be perhaps a couple of minutes for stoppage time.
Andrew going deep with a kick to Gregan. It's a good little dummy from Gregan, and then the kick through, he was tackled. Well, is there going to be a penalty now given against England? No. It was a call for the mark from Rory Underwood. The challenge on Gregan was fair, says referee David Bishop. There was the kick from Gregan then. Ran into Jason Leonard, and nothing unfair about that challenge. Australia's throw in, Australia's take. Lynagh, Offrengawi. Great tackle from Ben Clark. Jason Little, this is good running by Jason Little. Well, penalty going England's way, and a few hearts thumped there. We thought it might have gone the other way. Jason Little not releasing the ball on the ground.
It's been so tense, and there's tremendous tackling on both sides. That was a good move on the blind side, but England were up to it. Their defence, their cross-cover defence has been excellent, and they've been up very quickly on defence, as has Australia. It's been a game of tremendous defence and tackling on both sides.
Well, there have been many guns in the armories of both Australia and England. There's terrific tension in this ground now. The clock shows -2 minutes, and this might well be the last move. Morrison, Moore confer. Where does the throw-in go? Rodber's in the middle of the line out, but it's Martin Bayfield that takes. It's a good drive by England. Ben Clark's in there. Now comes the release. Will we see a drop from Rob Andrew? He struck it well as Andrew. It's there! Rob Andrew has probably won the quarterfinal for England. He struck that so well, and Australia take the quick kick in. This could be the end of the match. Michael Katz punt downfield. Matthew Burke back for it. He's going to have to open up. He's got Timmy Horan with him. This is Lynagh. Switch inside to Offrengawi, like a bull charging down the middle. Gregan, they can't afford to kick it, can Australia? They're going to have to keep the ball in hand. Matthew Burke coming in from the back. Gregan again. England just stand by, waiting in defence. Campese Damien Smith. Big throw on the inside to Tim Rodber. But England have possession. They just really need to kick this out now. Morris. It's a long kick from Morris, and a great one at that. It's the end of the game, and England have won by 25 points to 22. Well, can you believe it? One of the classic games of Rugby World Cup 95. And Chick, after this great rugby feast, it's sad at the end of the day that Australia have to do the loser's lap of honour. But at the end of the day, it had to go to one side, and the difference was that drop goal from Rob Andrew.
He hit it beautifully, head down, follow through, everything you want. But as you say, Gavin, what a pity the one side has to lose. It was really point for point every time. There you see, look how that head is down, and he only lifted his head after his foot had come up in front of his face. And look at the delight on the man. There's Jeremy Guscott saying, well done, old chap. And these English forwards have played themselves absolutely to a standstill, and so have the Australians. We said earlier on that it was a game of tremendous defence on both sides. I don't think I can ever remember two teams sort of facing up to each other across that advantage line and trying to get up to the other team before they could get up steam and work out moves and get it going. And it was tremendous defence, both sides trying as hard as they could every second.